So yeah, I was wrong. And even then, I'm still confused on why I'm wrong with all that. Okay, so yeah, 2.0 just been finally announced, or at least we got an actual glimpse of 2.0 for Guilty Gear Strive. And honestly, I just want to go ahead and go over my thoughts about that. Alongside, potentially, I have a lot of strong hope with this, especially since, if you guys know by now, I have the Switch edition of Guilty Gear Strive. Although I am still now debating on getting the actual other version alongside getting, ironically, I think either a PlayStation or Xbox. I don't know. I've been back and forth on that. But the reason why I say that and why I'm a little bit hopeful is because also, and I did try to look this up, but weirdly enough, I seen like this post on Reddit, not calling out the poster or anything, because trust me, there is a reason why I could see that point. But they're apparently saying that in a recent backyard developer patch note or something, they're not going to support Switch 2 or Switch Edition, which is not true because the only latest one we have is the 19th one, and they said they are taking a good look into it. So there's a lot to get into, but personally, I wouldn't blame that Reddit poster because, to be fair, there is the debate of if it is going to come to Switch or Switch 2, or it's not going to come at all, which is really kind of interesting. So, for context, if you don't know, we just got the final announcement that two of the DLCs that we've been known that was going to come, well, at least one of them, the other one was debatable, but they did finally reveal it was the person, which, yes, I am willing to admit that I was weirdly wrong about it, and I'm still weirded about, to say the least. But yes, it was in fact Jam, who's actually coming out first, which is kind of a duh, because that was the main character many people wanted for a while now. But also Robo Ky, which, okay, I mean, I will keep repeating it, but the reason why is, like I said, when I made that theory, I don't know how this is going to work out, honestly. To be fair, they are changing up some of the characters' move sets in this upcoming 2.0. In fact, it feels like every update they do, they have to change the characters' moves. And not like do what Smash Brothers did, which they buff and debuff. Right now, we're seeing some of the new moves they're giving, and right now, freaking Happy Chaos got this bullet warping technique here, and I bet a lot of people are going to be very happy about that because apparently Happy Chaos is broken in that game for some reason. I don't know. I don't see him as that broken, but then again, I haven't seen an expert really use Happy Chaos that well or that much, so I don't know. But anyways, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Trailer was fine. May was fine. I mean, not excuse me, not May. Jam. I don't know why I'm confusing the two, but Jam was fine and stuff. And it was all around a good feel trailer, to say the least. And all in all, it does give out some, hope for this upcoming 2.0 because, to be fair, last season was kind of, to say the least. I didn't see it as bad, but to be fair, a lot of people were just scratching their heads on it. Mostly because what I could gather through videos, the characters they introduced was pretty poor to many, with the only exception being the third character, Yuka. I think that's how you pronounce their name. Hold on for a second there. Face in my face or something. I had to grab my remote, sorry. But honestly, in most cases, it's fine. I don't know. And they want more better though. And to be fair, playing Venom is probably Venom was no, I think it was actually Dizzy that was the weakest character because she was pretty much a jack of all trades in her original gameplay. But what I've learned is when they move her to Guilty Gear Strive, it was just like Yeah, because the gameplay changes. I don't know. I'm not describing it very well, but to be fair, I can kind of see. Although to be fair, I do like how they play Elise. Um, but like I said, I don't know how they're gonna move Robo Ky other than those move changes, which might be the thing. Because for context, the reason why I was super confused on if this is Robo Ky or not. And I do have kind of a weird theory that this might be a super clone of Robo Ky. I mean, there has to be multiple of Robo Kys. I don't know. I mean, I'm not up to speed with the lore evolving Robo Ky that much. I do know he appeared in the Give the Gear Double X, but that's all I know for sure. And I do believe he does have multiple. I don't know. But Robo Ky is right now with Venom. So unless Robo Ky decided to build himself a unique body because the previous body got destroyed after he sacrificed it to stop Bedman. This is actually a real lore thing. I'm up to mostly the triple X, aka XR, and Strive story stuff, not the previous earliest games. So don't ask me what ABA is about much. So yeah, but I really don't know much what that's going to be about. I actually do hopefully want to see a clone version of Robo Ky. It would be great to see too. But then again, I have a gut feeling they want to at least remove Robo Ky from Venom, which I think is a fine idea. I mean, if they're going to add like a new kind of story towards it, but we don't know. We're just have to see. But again, I was wrong. But my other reason for that is we still have the other two leak characters, to say the least, to consider. And that is, of course, Muck spelled backwards. If you don't know who I'm referring to, her name is, can't even say on YouTube, and I can't say her last name because it's Japanese, and I don't want to butcher the motherfucker thing out of it. But it's the girl with the robot disguise because of story lore again from XR, and of course Raven, which many people also want him back, and those two were in the codes. And I thought Robo Ky was going to be somewhat of a secret character. Like I thought Muck spelled backwards was going to be that character instead, and I still have tiny hope it might be, but who knows? Because it definitely is going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. But the real thing I do want to talk about, and probably the more important thing than admitting that I was wrong about the theories involving Robo Ky, although I do wonder how they're going to go through with it, is what about the Switch 1 and 2? Because, yeah, as of now, we do not know if we don't have any confirmation if Jam is coming to Switch 1 or 2, or when the rest of the characters are coming. To be fair, my personal theory, and this is just a theory, I think they did learn from their past mistakes, because weirdly enough, in the reveal trailers on when they're coming, well, they do list somewhat dates. They're not somewhat. They are very interesting dates. So for context, Robo Ky and Jam are coming very early. In fact, Jam's coming next month, which, by the way, next month is going to be fucking packed like no one can. We got freaking Tomodachi Life, a few other games, which I do believe there was a few other big games coming out in April. And now we got this update. It's like, wow. Like, freaking April is fucking packed. But the thing is, he is coming super early in the spring, while Robo Ky is coming in the summer. Guess when the next two characters that haven't been revealed yet are coming? Winter and fall. Yeah, winter and fall. Well, not winter. Winter and next winter. I forgot when, but yeah, one's coming into winter, which is probably even going to be more than 2016. And yeah, the season's going to end next year. That is a big bombshell. And my current theory is, especially with also the other new stuff, which, side note, pretty cool, nothing too major to complain. It's definitely a 2.0 update. I have a strong feeling that the reason why is they probably did finally listen to the fans, aka fans like me, to slow down on the DLC at least a little bit and let us at least catch up. Because there has been some wackiness going on also with Arc System. I haven't even mentioned this, but I haven't looked into it. But apparently, copyright infringement transfer is going on, something like that. You can look it up, but apparently, it's an update that Bandai Namco is getting rights or something. It's a whole can of worms that I can't even read, so you can look it up. But it basically does seem like, well, discounting that, but that's probably part of it. I don't know. I just feel like I need to mention it just in case. It does seem like the developers have actually listened to feedback. And like I said, no offense to the Reddit person who posted that thing on Reddit, like the poster on Reddit, because I would have blamed them because it does feel like Arc System has abandoned Switch for good reason. But I do feel like they will at least try to give us the stuff we need, especially since, competition and all that. It's understandable they're more focused on PlayStation and Xbox for good reason, but I don't think they will ever abandon the Switch. Although I do have a gut feeling, and people are going to shoot me for this, if they are going to port it to Switch, they're going to port it to Switch 2 and only Switch 2. I have a gut feeling this is going to be a Switch 2 update kind of thing, like every other company is doing. And even then it's going to be risky. The only thing I would ask, and this is actually true and important, the only thing many people, including myself, need to ask is if they are going to port it to Switch 2, please keep the fucking stages. Especially for Jam's, because surprisingly Jam's stage looks pretty badass, honestly. Not to mention, it looks like frickin' Blaze Blue, which isn't too surprising. Arc System also made Blaze Blue, but it really does remind me of that one Blaze Blue stage. So, and even then, the more better hope is they actually transfer the rest of the data, because they still haven't done that yet. The only thing they transferred was the colors and the characters, which is a bit annoying. Granted, it made some sense since the characters didn't actually had their stages used, and that was probably foreshadowing, because even in the PlayStation 5, they don't even use Yuka's new stage for her character arc or arcade story. That should have been red flags of, oh yeah, we're not going to transfer it to Switch, so it's best to make it fair for every console. But still, that sucks. That's a waste of a stage, or two stages, that is. It's not just one, two. And I really feel like they should have, again, I'm willing to take what I can get, but please, for the love of God, if you're going to introduce Jam to Switch 2, for fuck's sake, bring that stage with her, at least. If not, I'm happy if I do get her and the Robo Ky and all the other characters. But for fuck's sake, please also get the stages too, because people are justifiably upset with that. I know it's going to take a while, but come on now. That's really just dumb they didn't do that. And I partially get the whole point of, data and all that gobbledygoo. It's probably hardware problems, but it feels like really cheap out stuff. But anyways, that's all I can say about this update. Honestly, I'm excited like many other people, even though, again, got fucking Switch 2 stuff. Well, this is Switch 1, but I recently connected to Switch 2. But anyways, it's just gonna suck. It really is gonna suck for a while for me and a bunch of other Switch users, because we're gonna have to wait. But for the rest, it's definitely a good time around. And again, it's definitely, April's gonna be fucking packed. Holy crap. Hell, that's not even saying this week, because Sonic Racing basically has to get that Mega Man update out. Jesus, this spring is gonna be packed in general. Anyways, this has been Foxcat. Snapping out of here. Bye-bye.